Okay, so now it's time for me to pot up my peppers, you guys. These are the peppers that I am growing for myself. I moved the chaltepin peppers, the ones that I am growing for my parents. I did those because there were so many of them that germinated and they were running out of space quickly and the roots were just getting massive. So I moved them into the same size 2.5-inch container and they're doing amazing, as you could tell. So it is time for me to move these guys. I have 3 kinds here. I have Arroz con Pollo, which is a sweet pepper. I have Poblano here in the middle, and I have regular jalapeños. I believe these are tame jalapeños. I can't remember exactly the type, just regular jalapeños. And I already have my potting mix here. I got my 2.5-inch containers here. I still have to write the name on the containers, but that's something that I'm going to do as I go. But I just want to show you how I'm going to do this because I know that if you're just starting and then you sort of use this system that I am using here to grow your peppers, then you're probably wondering how you're going to get them out of there and all of that. So don't be afraid, be confident in what you're doing. It's okay if you break a few roots. The plants are going to be just fine. I did water, I have to say, I did water these this morning so they are nice and moist. It's easier in my experience doing this with wet plants than it is with really dry plants. And I have like a little scoop here that I am trying to just dig out these guys. And right now I'm just loosing around the plants. And I'm just going to get 1 scoop out. Well, maybe this guy wants to come as well. As you start doing this, you'll feel how the roots are doing, which plants are easier to take out. So don't pull by the stem, don't pull by the leaves. Everything that you're doing needs to be from the bottom up. So I am going to get these guys in 1 chunk with all the soil, like this. I'm going to place them on the side. So these are really, really wet already. It's easier to separate them, to divide them when the roots are a little bit wet than when they're really dry. And what I'm going to do is, I already have my container here like I show you. Going to make a hole with my finger. I'm going to place the seedling in there, and then I'm just going to help the soil around it. And I do have extra soil here on the side. And I did start with a little bit of wet soil. Like you know, I like to use soil potting mix in this case that it's already a little bit wet because I don't like to use it dry. It's just a personal preference. And then I just help it here around. And I have 1 poblano seedling, 1 poblano pepper here. I'm going to do the same thing with the rest. Look at the roots on this guy. Just going to make sure that the roots go first. Perfect. And I am gently, just slightly pushing the soil down, just to make sure that the roots are all the way at the bottom. But I am not pushing too hard that it's just going to make the soil very compact. There we go. Get these beautiful roots. And I am not wasting any of my seedlings that germinated. I am just going to get them all. Especially the poblanos and jalapeños. I feel like I use a lot of those in the summer. So there you go. I have 3 poblano peppers right here already. Going to do the same thing with the rest. I have 3 more. And I kind of loosen the sides and the back of the seedlings. And I am just taking the chunk from the bottom. I am not picking the plants from the top or anything, just going from the bottom. Look at those roots. Look at those roots, wow. So I am gently massaging the soil. If you have seedlings that are right next to each other, just gently work with them. Don't separate them really hard, just work with them. Wow, look at this guy. Look at the size of that root. Wow, it's massive. And again, I'm making sure that the roots go down there first. And this is perfect. Number 4. And if I remember correctly, this right here, the medium where I had them growing to where I had them to get germinated, is seed starting mix, so it has no nutrients whatsoever. So I'm just making sure that as I am filling up the containers that I'm using my potting mix, and use whatever potting mix you have around, whichever brand or company you trust. And that's it. And I have my 6 poblano peppers. Look at that. This was my division, my chip division that I make. I got my jalapeños to do next. And again, these were easy. These 4 seedlings are kind of in a line there. So I am just going to divide them. Just gonna make like a cut here in between the 2. And I'm going to loosen up the soil around just to try to scoop the chunk out. As I am holding with my fingers, I am not pulling with my fingers. I am just kind of trying to keep them together in one piece to get them out. Just grab these guys as well. Perfect. So these are all my jalapeños, and there is one guy here, I don't know if you can see it, that didn't make it. But these 2 here are doing beautiful. Look at that. My goodness. Beautiful, beautiful seedlings. And again, I'm not fighting with them. I am not trying to break the roots. I am just gently letting the roots go free on their own. Boom. This is why getting them nice and moist before you do this is key. Because if these were dry, if these were really dry, it would be really hard for the roots kind of to trying to get away, to get separated from the soil. So I got my jalapeños here. I have 4 jalapeños. And I'm using the green labels for them. And if you can tell, I'm using the green labels for the jalapeños. I have the beige label for the poblanos, and I have orange labels for my arroz con pollo, just in case I lost track at some point which one was which. One Jalapeno down. Look at this, beautiful, just beautiful. What I'm going to do here is then when I am done potting up all of these peppers, I'm just going to give them a little bit of water because the new soil that I'm using, it's not completely wet. So I just want to make sure that these guys are hydrated and then they have plenty of water. And that's it for this video, you guys. Thank you for being here, and until the next video.